Coming up in the Northern Sun Showcase, fall sports are coming to a close, and it's a familiar end in the cross-country championships. Big matchups to determine league champions in football, volleyball, and soccer. We take a look at life in the balance, as well as the newest member of the UMary women's basketball team. There's no lockout in our basketball. The coaches pick their favorite. The Northern Sun Showcase is a hit. Welcome once again to the Northern Sun Showcase. I'm Mike Woodley with the Commissioner Butch Raymond. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, 14 members strong, Division II athletics up here in the upper Midwest. The fall seasons are underway, Butch, and actually we're starting to head towards the winter season.
First of all, it's very nice to be back, Mike, and thank you for joining us again this year. Yes, we're off and running, I guess, is the best way to put it. We've had 2 fall championships that are complete. We've had 2 sports that are halfway home that will be completed in the spring. And then we have our other 3 sports that are winding down with some very, very exciting finishes.
Since you said off and running, we should probably start with the first of the championships in the Northern Sun this fall, and that's cross country. And let's start on the women's side, where, again, being played at a very high level, but some familiar faces on the top.
Well, certainly Augustana College was our champion on the women's side. That's their 4th straight. And the individual champion, Runa Falch, she repeated from last year. Actually, it was the first race she's run this fall, and she comes home first.
And Augustana are known as the Vikings, and she is a true Viking from Norway. So another little added experience for her and the rest of her college teammates at Augustana.
It really was, and what a beautiful day. And again, thanks to Minnesota State University Moorhead for hosting that for the conference.
And Tracy Hellman was named the men and women's coach of the year. He is the coach at Augustana, and Tracy's done a fine job there with not only with the women but the men. And on the men's side, another very competitive field, but some familiar faces again on top. And we're getting used to these particular men because they're seemingly in the headlines on the radio show and on the television show every time we talk cross country.
Yeah, and Augustana comes. I think this is the 3rd straight for the Vikings on the men's side. And they finished 1, 2, 3 actually in order with the champion of the men's cross country being sophomore Paul Yang. Actually, both Runa and Paul are both sophomores. Wow, what a future they have.
It seems like they've been there much longer than that because they've been so competitive and so dominant. We congratulate both of them. Of course, it doesn't end right here. We move on now to the regions, which are in Denver in November. And I think the Northern Sun Conference looks like they could be very competitive there, Butch.
Well, our region is traditionally one of the stronger ones. We compete against the Rocky Mountain, and they're predominantly up higher in the rankings. And so, yeah, it'll be an interesting race. I know that our runners are looking forward to it. And hopefully, I believe it's, Mike, it's the top 5 on the women's side, the top 6 on the men's side that qualify for the national championship in Spokane, which will be on December the 12th, I believe.
And we wish, obviously, the men and women in the Northern Sun the best of luck. Well, turning also to football, where we've seen some dominance in the Northern Sun, not only here regionally but nationally. And Minnesota Duluth was, of course, the defending champions. They've had some luck with their, well, good fortune, I guess good work from their kicker, David Nadeau, and he's been somebody who has been, well, remember last year he had the game winner in overtime to beat St. Cloud State to go to the national championship, and then in the national championship game, he was big again, wasn't he?
The last play of the game. He kicked the field goal to win, to give them their win over Delta State. And obviously he's following in the same footsteps again this year after that big 55-yarder he had up at the University of Maren.
And let's give a watch of that one right now as you get to see Rick Anthony with the call as David Nadeau hits a very long field goal for the Bulldogs.
Chase Vogler is the holder. Marauders have nobody deep. The snap is up. The kick is on its way, and it's going to be, are you kidding? Good. A 55-yard field goal for David Nadeau.
Yes, it was good. 55 yards. That's the 4th longest in Division II NCAA football this year. And, well, he's getting it
Mike
done.
followed up with that. Tom Urbanski from Concordia University kicked a 56-yarder, so obviously that's the 3rd longest. And really, the 2 young men that tied for number 1 are at 57, so they're only a yard or 2 off the national record this year.
And not just kicking, though. We've seen a lot of competitive football in the Northern Sun Conference, and there's still a lot to be determined because there's Well, there's North and South championships yet to be determined.
Well, we have, Mike, remember in football, we do have a North and South champion, and currently going into final through this week, we've got a couple teams tied in both of those, so they're playing for that with another couple teams right behind them with one loss. And then we have the overall champion. So there's a North champ, there's a South champ, and then there's an overall champion, the Northern Sun. And who would pick them? I wouldn't pick them with 3 weeks to go.
What a matchup. I'll just start with the one in the north first. Is St. Cloud State at home, that beautiful campus overlooking the river, as they host Minnesota Duluth. Remember last year, of course, in the playoffs, an overtime win for UMD, who went on to win the national title. So something maybe to be settled by St. Cloud State. That's on the north side, 2 undefeateds. But in the south, Minnesota State taking on Augustana at Mankato. Another very, very tough battle to see who can emerge undefeated in the South Division.
Yes, and again, we're very proud of the competitiveness that we have overall in football, as we do in all of our sports. But football, this has been an amazing fall weather-wise. I hate to say that, we still got, but it's been just beautiful. And the Northern Sun schools are setting attendance records at Winona and at Duluth and at Upper Iowa and at Mary. I mean, all over the place there's attendance. At Northern, we could go on and on. There are just all kinds of attendance records being set this year.
It's great to see the student body out there supporting the teams. It's made it fun, and the communities, too, that surround them. Regional rankings are really what determines who goes on and who stays home at the end. You hate to have that for that to be the case in such a talented conference like the Northern Sun. But look, Butch, let's talk about the rankings that are now out there and how that might affect the teams in the conference.
Well, they rank the top 10 in the region, and the last ranking, they picked the top 6 to go into the playoffs. So currently, we just finished our first ranking this year. We have the University of Minnesota Duluth at number 3. St. Cloud State is at number 5. Bemidji State is at number 10. And almost a tie for 10th would be right behind them is Minnesota State University Mankato.
See how it plays out. They get a few more games to try to get it all figured out, and we'll, of course, keep you up to date on how those regional rankings play out. Well, that wraps up football, but we got plenty ahead here on the program. Volleyball and soccer. We had 2 undefeateds meeting in both volleyball and soccer. We'll tell you how that turned out, and more to come as we continue here on the Northern Sun Showcase. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference is a proud member of NCAA Division II athletics. This week's Northern Sun Showcase is brought to you by Wilson, the official football, basketball, and baseball of the NSIC, by LJK Companies Incorporated, a full-service solution to your team's lodging needs, by Impact Sports. Contact Impact Sports to get your swoosh on, and by eSultans Web Services. We make having a website easy and affordable. For more information, visit esultans.com.
We all train differently. It's about numbers. What works for you might not work for your teammates. The same thing goes for staying hydrated. As you compete, you sweat, and it leaves your body at a unique rate. At a certain point before the game's even over, you sweat so much that your performance suffers, unless your numbers are right. Through superior research, we've unlocked the formula to optimize those numbers. The math for you is simple.
If you've stopped saving, let us help you start. Savings today and rewards tomorrow from U.S. Bank. Save a little every week with every purchase, every paycheck. Watch your savings grow. When you reach $1,000, you'll earn a $50 rewards Visa card. Earn another $50 when you keep it for a year. Save for a wedding day, a family, or your house. Just start. All of us serving you. U.S. Bank.
I chose Division II because athletes graduate at a higher rate.
I can stay closer to home and be an important part of the community. I chose Division II because I can double major
And take part in campus activities.
I chose Division II because classrooms are smaller.
Students have more time with their instructors.
And I can compete for a national championship. I chose Division II for all these reasons and more.
I chose
Division II.
Thanks again for joining us on the Northern Sun Showcase, again, where we tell you the stories of NCAA Division II athletics here in the upper Midwest. Well, Butch, volleyball, another sport that's been very dominant in the Northern Sun, not only regionally but on a national level. Concordia has been leading the way, but the conference is getting very, well, let's say very busy at the top.
It has been, and we need to remind our viewers that Concordia is the 4-time defending national champion going into this season, and had just had the opportunity last weekend to see one of the most classic volleyball matches that I've seen when University of Minnesota Duluth visited Concordia. And they were ranked number 1 and 2 in the country at that time. They were both undefeated. And in a 5-set match, Duluth won 17-15. Now that's the first time that a Concordia player has lost a game at home, any of the players that were on the floor. At that time, they had 45 matches in a row. That was they were going for their 85th consecutive Northern Sun match and 62 overall in the conference.
And you know, I'm not fantastic at math, but that dates back to 2007. So there was not a member of that Concordia team that had ever tasted defeat at home, and many before them that hadn't. So quite a matchup. But again, what does it mean? It means the Northern Sun Conference has several very good teams, and it might not mean a lot for Concordia other than the fact that they just might have tasted their first defeat in a while, because they still have plenty to play for.
Well, they'll play again. In a non-conference setting, and then hopefully, certainly they'll match up in the region as we look at the regional rankings, Mike. When you look at volleyball, again, the regional tournament in volleyball is determined by the top 8 teams that are ranked. They had their first ranking this week. Concordia was UMD, Minnesota Duluth was number 1. Concordia was number 2. And then right down the line, Southwest was number 6. Winona State was number 7. Wayne State was number 8. And Minnesota State Mankato number 9 out of 10.
And without a conference tournament in volleyball, even more significance to the regular season. But again, there's a lot of teams there battling, not only for the conference title or conference placing, but then where those regional rankings play out, it's going to be very big.
That's right. For the Northern Sun, it will be determined of where you finish in the conference. And one of the new things you mentioned that, we know we're going to expand to 16 next year. And we will be bringing back the conference volleyball tournament at that time. The season is extended for a week, so we're able to do that schedule-wise.
That'll make it interesting in volleyball. Great attendance, I'm sure. We'll be awaiting that. Let's move on to soccer now, another sport where the attendance has been jumping in the Northern Sun this year. And the weather's had a little bit to do with it, but fantastic play and a more balanced conference has also played its role. Winona State University has been dominant. Ali Omar's program in this conference has been big, winning the last 7 regular season championships. This year, Minnesota State has been up to the challenge, and those 2 undefeateds met.
Yeah, they did. They met last week, and Minnesota State came away with a 1-0 victory for them in a tremendous game or match that we had down there. And as you look at it's kind of coming down to those 2 teams fighting for the championship. Right now, currently, Minnesota State has 31 points. Winona State has 30. In soccer, Mike, you get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie. So as we wind down the season, there's still an opportunity. There's still a great rivalry going on there between those 2. Nothing has been determined yet.
And Tori Meinhardt was the one who scored the game-winning goal. Let's from here, not only on that game-winning goal, but also about her team's success.
Brianne West gave me the pass, and I got a window of opportunity, took the shot, and hit the side netting, so it went in. It was good. Today we just wanted to come out and give a collective effort, moving as a team, attacking as a team, and defending as a team. And so that's what we did today, and ultimately got the win.
The parity in the Northern Sun means every game matters. We've got to recover now, and we got Upper Iowa coming here tomorrow for senior day, and then we've got to make the trip up north to Bemidji and Duluth. There's a lot of soccer left before this conference title's decided, I think.
Playing for the soccer tournament, Butch, how does it work in the Northern Sun?
Well, we take the top 8 teams. Number 1 hosts number 8, number 2 hosts number 7, number 3 hosts number 6, and number 4 hosts number 5 on Wednesday, November the 2nd. And then this team that has the highest ranking team that's left will host the semifinals on Friday the 4th and the championship on Sunday the 6th.
One of the things about the Northern Sun Conference that we talk about so often in Division II athletics is life and balance. Well, you're not only an athlete, but you're a student athlete, and sometimes you're even much more than this. Maren Werth is one that can really play. Matt Holston tunes us in.
One could listen all day to the mellow tones coming out of Maren Werth's harp, but don't let the music fool you. When the sophomore isn't plucking away, she's usually here on the soccer field, attacking her opponent's goalie.
I have to be very, very, very focused mentally and physically on soccer, and then harp is just more of a relaxation and just kind of to take time off from the craziness of this.
While a lot of people play soccer starting at a young age, not many opt to pick up the harp, maybe because the cost for a mid-grade harp runs about $30,000. But when the Bloomington, Minnesota native first set eyes on one, she knew it was an instrument she had to have.
I saw some lady at my church play, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. You know, I was probably like 5 or so years old, and just seeing this huge, gorgeous instrument sitting on stage, I was like, that'd be so cool if I could do that.
Since that time, Werth has spent countless hours picking up techniques and practicing her instrument just like any good musician.
My parents have said, you know, even hitting wrong notes, they have no idea when it is, you know. They're like, you know, we're glad you didn't pick the recorder to play all the time. You know, my brother and sister play the drums, so they're happy that they didn't have a third drummer in the family.
The contrast between what her siblings chose and her harp somewhat mirrors the contrast between her music side and sports side. For starters, the schedules for each, at least at the collegiate level, usually prevent anyone from participating in both, not to mention a full nursing course load. But when it comes to Augustana, professors, coaches, and teachers for that matter, go out of their way to accommodate their gifted student athletes.
I found that it's a really good outlet. Just, you know, when I'm cramming for a test or thinking about a big game, I just go in there, practice for an hour, and it just kind of calms me down. I can let out some frustration, which seems kind of weird to say about playing the harp, but that's what happens.
Once the soccer season comes to an end, Werth then shifts her focus to orchestra, and even though she doesn't get to play as many gigs outside of school as she'd like to, she says she still has fun keeping up with her instrument.
The coolest thing is, I don't know, I guess learning new techniques on how to do stuff, just little intricate, you know, notes that you can play here and there that just spice up the pieces, I guess, a little bit more.
She was impressive.
Very much so, Mike. And again, that's the brand of Division II, life in the balance, enabling you to be a strong athlete, a strong student athlete, and opportunities to do things like she's accomplishing. And hats off to Augustana College for giving her that opportunity.
When we come back, golf and basketball as we continue on the Northern Sun Showcase.
So, what kind of financial help are you looking for? Maybe you need insurance to help protect you. Benefits to help your business reach new heights. Or a retirement plan to invest for the future. Then again, maybe there's someone who can help with all of those things. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. With 8 team national championships since 2006 and 24 individual national champions, the NSIC has developed into the premier Division II conference in the Upper Midwest. The NSIC boasts 14 schools competing in 17 sports, all committed to one common goal: athletic and academic excellence. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II athletics.
If you've stopped saving, let us help you start. Savings today and rewards tomorrow from U.S. Bank. Save a little every week with every purchase, every paycheck. Watch your savings grow. When you reach $1,000, you'll earn a $50 rewards Visa card. Earn another $50 when you keep it for a year. Save for a wedding day, a family, or your house. Just start. All of us serving you. U.S. Bank.
Here's to all you crazies. You, the hometown diehards, the fanatics. That's what a fan is after all. You live or die by what happens on the field, on the court, and in your heart every time your team plays. So, let your freak flag fly. We're here for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
Time to talk golf. Butch Raymond, let's get into it a little bit and start on the women's side.
Well, golf is a split championship for us. We play 36 holes in the fall, 36 holes in the spring. And this fall, the women played at the Jewel Country Club in Lake City. one of our nationally ranked teams, Augustana College, got off to a wonderful start. They have a 40-stroke lead. Co-medalists in Allie Ostrander and Maggie Leland led them down the way.
And on the men's side, it's time to check in and find out what happened there. Nick Cornder has the details.
On a sunny weekend in early October, Troy Byrne Golf Course in Hudson, Wisconsin served as the site for the fall portion of the NSIC Men's Golf Championship. The championship consists of 36 holes in the fall and 36 in the spring to determine the team champions. Round 2 scores were much improved as St. Cloud State shaved 9 strokes off their total to lead the championship. The Huskies moved ahead of Day 1 leader Concordia St. Paul, who was tied with Minnesota State, 8 strokes off the lead. St. Cloud State's Billy Barnhart shot a 76 in round 1 and a tournament low 1 under par 70 in round 2 to sit atop the leaderboard at 4 over par.
I think I hit 16 greens, so I hit the ball much better. Made 3 birdies on the back, so that always helps. Shot 2 under on the back, 33. Our team's very solid this year. And we all know that, and if we all play to our potential, we could win lots of golf tournaments.
Upper Iowa's John Anderson also shot a tournament low 70 in round 2 and finished at 6 over par to sit in 3rd place.
I made a lot more putts today. I made 3 or 4 birdies today. I felt like the hole was a lot bigger today than it was yesterday.
Minnesota State, the 3-time defending men's golf champions, cut 25 strokes off their team total and are 8 strokes off the lead.
Most solid round we've played all year. Even our drop score was in the 70s. So 25 shots better, shooting 319 yesterday and shooting 294 today was a great turnaround. Saved our season.
The final 36 holes will be played April 14th and 15th at the Jewel Golf Club in Lake City, Minnesota to conclude the championship.
We just got to keep working hard in the winter and then bring it back strong in the spring, actually take home the trophy.
And from golf to that chill in the air we're all starting to feel, basketball is coming up next, Butch, as we continue on the Northern Sun Showcase.
The Best Western Kelly in St. Paul and the Best Western Kelly Inn of St. Cloud. Conveniently located at I-94 and Marion Street in St. Paul, just minutes from Concordia University. And at 104th Avenue South in St. Cloud, just minutes from St. Cloud State University. With newly refurbished guest rooms, restaurants and bars, indoor swimming pools, free high-speed internet and parking, exercise rooms, meeting and banquet rooms as well as catering. For reservations in St. Paul, call 651-227-8711. And in St. Cloud, 320-253-0606. Remember to ask about the NSIC team and administrator discounts.
I chose Division II because athletes graduate at a higher rate.
I can stay closer to home and be an important part of the community. I chose Division II because I can double major
And take part in campus activities.
I chose Division II because classrooms are smaller.
Students have more time with their instructors.
And I can compete for a national championship. I chose Division II for all these reasons and more.
I chose Division II.
We all train differently. It's about numbers. What works for you might not work for your teammates. The same thing goes for staying hydrated. As you compete, you sweat, and it leaves your body at a unique rate. At a certain point before the game's even over, you sweat so much that your performance suffers, unless your numbers are right. Through superior research, we've unlocked the formula to optimize those numbers. The math for you is simple.
The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference is a proud member of NCAA Division II Athletics. This week's Northern Sun Showcase is brought to you by Wilson, the official football, basketball, and baseball of the NSIC. By LJK Companies Incorporated, a full-service solution to your team's lodging needs. By Impact Sports. Contact Impact Sports to get your swoosh on. And by eSultans Web Services. We make having a website easy and affordable. For more information, visit esultans.com. Basketball season is drawing near in the Northern Sun Conference, and the University of Mary women's basketball team has a very new and special teammate this year. Meet Maya Thinnis.
I'm so excited.
When Maya was in kindergarten, she started to get a lot of headaches.
If life is like a basketball game, Maya's first quarter has not been easy.
So we went and had an MRI done, and they found the brain tumor in the back of her neck.
The 7-year-old has had weeks of chemo and radiation and missed months of school. But just recently, a big cause for celebration.
She had a good visit on Monday with her doctors. All her blood counts are on their way back up.
And Maya's family just got a whole lot bigger.
As soon as you saw Maya enter the room, there was nothing but smiles out of our players. Excited to see her.
Once we started talking and just getting to know her more, she was all smiles like she is now still, and it's just fun to see because it makes everyone else smile. It's contagious.
The U Mary women's basketball team welcomes Maya as an honorary part of their Marauders team. It's through a program called Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, which pairs college athletes with children battling cancer.
It looks like a really fun sport. I don't know how to do the hoops yet, but I know how to dribble and stuff.
The nurses had contacted us at the hospital when we first started to go there, and I thought, yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be something to get her involved with. But once I met the girls, they are just an awesome bunch.
We visited her during her chemo. We got to color with her, and she's making us all locker signs for our locker room.
It's really fun having the girls be on my team. They're all nice to me and they're a great family.
While the players may change, Maya will stay connected with the team.
I just think it's amazing on how much she is actually teaching us and showing us and how strong she is from everything for how young she is.
And the crowd goes wild for this new teammate.
In September, she finished her final chemo treatment.
Amber Schatz, KX News.
Great to see that, Butch. Not only worry about winning on the court, but doing great things in the community.
Oh, what a wonderful thing for that team to do and to help that young lady. And we're very proud of the University of Mary women's team for doing that.
Really, all the teams in the conference for doing things like that, being involved, is huge. Let's talk basketball because the preseason polls are out. I know what you think about the preseason polls, but let's get
only
right
if the
to
media
them.
picks them. That's right.
Let's start on the men's side. Augustana, you could make an argument a few different teams, but they are picked in the polls to finish first.
Well, and the preseason player of the year picked is Cody Schilling, their outstanding senior forward, who was the leading scorer in the Northern Sun last year. That's a pretty good choice.
A senior from Ellsworth, Minnesota. We wish him well. On the women's side, Wayne State is the choice by the pollsters to win the conference this year.
And they're the defending champs, and the preseason player of the year there is Ashley Arlen, who was the MVP of the league last year. So, again, I think our coaches are making good choices. We'll see, though, where the teams finish.
One thing I want to mention in the Northern Sun, if you're a follower of this conference, young or old, you may be involved in Facebook and Twitter and all the social media. Well, the Northern Sun Conference is available for you there. So you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just go to Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference and stay up to date. Also, there's the website, northernsun.org, keeps you up to date 24/7. 365. Thanks, Butch, for being with us again. This was fun. We'll do this again sometime soon.
It's going to be one of those years, Mike, so just sit back, enjoy it, and make sure you get out and watch our student athletes.
Thanks so much for watching us on the Northern Sun Showcase.
The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. With 9 team national championships since 2006 and 24 individual national champions, the NSIC has developed into the premier Division II conference in the upper Midwest. The NSIC boasts 14 schools competing in 17 sports, all committed to one common goal: athletic and academic excellence. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II athletics.